saying it, but man, Sinclair, they really had Rosenborg really had him shut down. They really had him shut down. But lo and behold, there's your boy, 69 minutes. We Jamesy, brother, and he just got that nice one timer and fucking hit a nice little missile right past the keeper. And they saw the game out after that. You know, there was times under Ronnie Dyley, you'd have been like, oh boy, this is gonna suck. But felt really good, man. You watching Brendan out there, and the troops know what they're supposed to do, and they still look like they're in good condition, man. Holding possession of the ball. You know, it feels like a different team. We can see out matches like that. We're not just going to fade the team roll over us. That's a good thing, man.
Yeah, I noticed after the goal we seemed to definitely calm down in terms of the possession and all that. It just, you know, kind of, you can see the confidence coming back straight after the goal. It was a better performance, no doubts about that. It was a better performance. We had some good chances in the first half, and my big concern was with all those good crosses and balls coming in that you know, we're missing like a Chris Sutton type, you know, a big physical. You know, that's where you'd maybe want someone like Dembele coming in for those crosses.
Yeah, but that's the problem is everything changed for me when Griffiths came on. Forrest moves back to his natural position. He looks more comfortable. All of a sudden, it's like things are opening up a little bit, and the chances are getting better. Griffiths being able to give you part of a game was a big difference, man. Yeah. If we have Dembele out there, I mean, this isn't even we probably are going to be able to handle a tough club like Rosenborg. But it is what it is, man. You need guys in the wings that are able to step up, and we were, you know, up against it with no Griffiths and no Dembele. But today you get Griffiths out there for a half, and that helps free up certain things. But it didn't work for your boy Sviatchenko, though. Man. He with him getting hurt early in the game.
No, I think he was always a risk anyway. Him going out. I mean, he was tentative going in there. Him and Griff were kind of, you know, just try to come back from injury, so he's probably going to get set back again after that. That will put him back, I don't know how long, but Keenan Tierney was solid, Brown was solid. I think everybody.
Simonovic.
He was standout. Yeah, big Simonovic. Jozo had a great, solid second half, especially. He was really solid. Clearly, just making some excellent tackles, and his positioning was fantastic as well. He was reading the game very, very well. I don't think Rosenborg were anywhere near as good as they were in the first leg. They definitely didn't threaten. It didn't look like they were going to score any goals. There are a couple of things, but it wasn't like you felt, oh, we're up against it here. But, you know, as a game goes on, 0-0, you can't help but think it only takes one mistake and then we're chasing it. But once the goal went in, I think that was it. I thought, yeah, we'll see this out, which we did, and then that's us. We're on to it. It was a funny game, you know. There wasn't a whole heap to talk about, but as I said, in the first chance, the first half, we were creating some really good chances.
It's that finishing touch, man. That kind of is like, you always get that feeling when a team hangs around and hangs around and hangs around, that those are the chances that you miss that are going to come back to haunt you. That the other side's going to do something stupid, and they're going to get some garbage, fluky goal, and all of a sudden it's like, damn, man, why couldn't we have converted our chances? But fortunately, we were on the right side of that, so that's a good thing.
Do you know why Ayer wasn't in the team? Did he get injured, or I thought it was really bizarre that he wasn't even in the squad.
From what I read on Twitter, I think it was Brian McNally. I think one of the old guys who used to be a writer, had said that he had heard that Ayer, I can never say his name right, was injured after that last game against Rosenborg at Celtic Park. And that's why he wasn't included in the lineup. Because he was the man of the match in the game against Rosenborg.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Bitan did acquit himself well when he came on, though. I mean, that, you know, you see some of the moves sometimes, and it's like, why is Brendan doing that? And then you realize, well, he does that because he knows the fucking players, and you're just a supporter.
Exactly.
And you should trust the expert.
Yeah, that's a good point you raised, Yahmpy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, no one knows what's going on better than Brendan, and he's
absolutely. There used to be a football coach in Philly. His name was Buddy Ryan, and Buddy once told the media, he said that if you listen to the fans enough, you'll be out of a job and sitting with them. And that's why Brenda's the expert, man. He knows what the fuck the deal is.
No, Bitton
just
did well.
Gotta trust him.
Bitton did well.
It's good to have that privilege as a Celtic fan. I mean, you think the last few years you've always had that doubt in your mind with the manager, and it's great to. Actually, I don't know if it is great. It's because you've always got that doubt in your mind. Oh, he's doing this right. He's doing this right. I think it's in our nature to criticise managers. Well, certainly every fucking manager between O'Neill and Brendan. So it's a luxury to have that kind of he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
because we've known that for fucking years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is. It's great.
There were times when it was when it wasn't like that, and then you'd be like, you feel like you're questioning the manager, and you feel like this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and you feel like you do. But
and that filters down. That filters down, and that's what happened to Ronnie. It was because he didn't have, he came in having to try and prove himself. Brendan Rodgers came in, okay, this is his club. He grew up supporting the club and he knew the club. Plus, he'd cut his teeth at the very highest standard down in the English Premier League. So, he came in he's already with that respect. Yeah. And then he's done what he's done in his first season, whereas other managers, as you say, have that sort of pressure it filters downhill, and it does affect the club and it does affect the team. So. Yeah, no, it was once again, Brendan has showed us that when things are difficult for the club, difficult with the squad, difficult with injuries, that he is able to make the team perform the way they have to, and that's what they did today. It was job done. It wasn't excellent performance or outstanding performance, but that's roll your sleeves up and get on with it. And moving on to who we're going to play next, and we'll talk about the possible draw. I think that we're in for more of that until we get to the group stages. Once we get to the group stages, then the pressure is off and they can go out and enjoy themselves, because the fans they want to be entertained. But up until we get there, it's you're in for a street fight. It's you got to roll your sleeves up. So possible opponents in the next round. We'll go over to our Twitter master, Yahmpy, because you had some thoughts about on Twitter, and they were talking about who people would like to draw.
Well, I was kind of like questioning some of the audience and everything, and I got a ton of feedback after the match. As a seeded team, there's only 5 opponents we can face: Karabakh, Astana, Rijeka, Hapoel Beersheva, and Slavia Prague. Now, the overwhelming favorite seems to be, for various reasons, which seem to be beer and the worst team out of the 5, Slavia Prague.
Beer and cheap hookers. That's definitely where the fucking pendulum's swaying.
Beer, cheap travel, and a terrible ranking. Slavia Prague seems to be far and away the runaway winner. They are, if we go by the UEFA rankings teams, Celtic is 48, but Karabakh is 106, Astana is 115, Rijeka is 125, Hapoel Beersheva is 150, and Slavia Prague is the worst of the 5 at 180. I was talking to the fans, and like I said, most of them had said Prague. But I got interesting feedback on other ones, like Hapoel was an interesting. In lieu of all the fines that Celtic has gotten recently because of the Green Brigade and all that, my question was, were people worried that there would be another political issue with the Palestinian flags that you would undoubtedly see at Celtic Park, and risking a worse fine than behavior? And that definitely seemed to be a big concern for a lot of people, which is why they don't want to see Beersheva again.
It's a good point. That is a good point. With everything that's going on just now, it's like, what's going to happen if the Green Brigade get drawn against an Israeli side, And all of a sudden, UEFA is going to be really looking at that match hard. And you have to wonder, the way the club has been treating the fans lately, how would they clamp down on the issue of Palestinian flags? And all of a sudden, the whole thing, that little bickering thing, starts to gurgle up a little again, where people are like, well, how do you feel politically about bringing this? Is your team or your politics more important? And it's like, it seems like we want to avoid that issue, but there you go. I'm sure the club are going to be... When you go, Jonny?
So I just ask, how do they sort of cipher those rankings? Like, where do they base the data on for the rankings?
They have the ranking. Oh God, it's like there's all kinds of like. It was like coefficients and shit. I just went down the list that they have. UEFA puts it out every so often, I guess, for strength of opponents and how far they've been in recent years and whatever. And it's just kind of like the Celtics always been around the 40s for the past couple of years and everything. So it's like there doesn't seem to be a great amount of fluctuation. But then again, they've qualified for Champions League, things like that kind of.
I'm surprised because Beersheba had a good run last year in the UEFA Cup and that. I'm surprised that there's such a big gap, or fucking 100 places gap, 108 place gap.
Right, but they also didn't qualify because we put them out. We beat them 5-2 at Celtic Park, and although, what was it? They beat us 2-0 there. But again, it's you're going to get a little more movement. Better you do playing in those European competitions and stuff. So, and I didn't follow Beersheba after we beat them. So it's like, I can't tell you what they did in their league, if that helped, or if they won it or whatever. But there's a lot of things.
I know in the UEFA Cup they beat Southampton. They drew Inter Milan. Like, they had a good fucking run in the UEFA Cup. I don't know, mate. It's the last year, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure they played well. But fuck it, man. It's probably corrupt bullshit. It's probably who can fucking pay those bastards more, and that's how they fucking rank it up. Corrupt fucking scum, man.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think, like, there are going to be, everyone's going to make have a preferred opponent for the next round. I think it's going to be tough, no matter who we get. I mean, I think distance-wise, I was going to say Karabag. I call him the Dothraki. Fucking.
That cracked me up, man.
The Dothraki side, man. The guys, the horse warriors, whatever they call themselves. Can't remember. Were they the ones that slaughtered? Who was the guy that tried to slaughter a sheep before the game or something? Was that them?
Aye, that was them. No,
Karabag.
Or Karagandhi.
Aye.
No, that was it? Yeah, Shakhtar Karagandhi. Yeah.
That
was the one James Forrest got the winner at Celtic Park.
I remember that. I get mixed up with the Karabag and the other lot. I mean, memory's not a bit hazy when it comes to playing those sides. But for me, the distance is a bit far. Was that the team with the guy? Who was the guy that had the crazy eyes? Remember that we played against them? I think it was Shakhtar, and they had the guy, their captain. He looked mental. Do you remember? He was
I remember Karabag because he
had big scary eyes, man, a big sweaty bald head and all that. He looked mental. It looked like he was on crack. It was mad as fuck, that boy.
Karabag was the one where it was like it seemed like a lot of people were having trouble being able to get a travel visa or whatever that quick because they're in Azerbaijan.
Aye.
And it just was like. It was supposed to be hot as hell there. It looked like nobody wanted to be there. It's like you might as well have been playing that match in Mongolia or something.
Yes, yeah. I think you want to avoid them and just play somebody closer. So, I mean, Slavia Prague might be a good shout. I don't know. I think it's going to be a dogfight no matter what happens, man. We're going to roll our sleeves up until we get to the Champions League. But, I mean, interesting. They got that tweet from. So we got a tweet from Tony at Glasgow_Tony. He said, "Not a greatest performance by any definition, but European football guaranteed until Christmas. So who cares about performances?" And also said, "All I cared about was getting through tonight. Couldn't care if the winner had hit off the ref's arse and went in. A win is a win." And that's from at Glasgow_Tony. And I mean, I think everybody just probably feel like that till we get to the group stages. Really, it's like let's just get us there. I mean, it's a good point. No, we're not guaranteed Europa League, so European football is guaranteed, and that is a we've hit a target. And no matter what happens, we want to see European football. I have
my boy from the Plowboys CSC in Philly, up on right by my old stomping grounds near Market Street. My boy Joe Brooks, Mr. Philly, said, "I don't want the Israeli squad. The fines for Palestinian displays will be staggering." Again, reiterating a lot of people not really wanting the Beersheba side because of the potential for you're looking at a real possibility that if UEFA cracks down even harder this time, you could be looking at a full closure.
Yeah.
And at that point, man, you're going to have a lot of people pissed off. So I don't know. I probably